All right, everybody, welcome back. Take two, WPG Clark podcast. We're here with
Live and direct with Sir Louie, a.k.a. Ronzel Picasso, a.k.a. The Great Dane, a.k.a. Warbus, a.k.a. that nigga you came to see. And we're reporting live from the WPG Clark podcast room. Let's get it.
Sir. Yes, sir. You already know. And for those people out there somehow don't know, let them know who you are, what you do, you know, all that.
Yeah, I am a Winnipeg born and raised rapper, currently living in Montreal, Canada. Just exploring life, man, creating music and working with amazing artists. So, you know, I'm happy to be here, lucky to be alive, and, you know, just trying to spread power and love throughout the universe.
Hell yeah. It's tradition around here. Everybody knows. We run it back. Let the people know, like, where you grew up, what area, what, like, schools and type of thing like that.
Right. So I'm a North Side boy till I die. I grew up in Garden City. True say, I actually grew up in the North End, and when I was about 12-ish years old, my parents moved me to Garden City to get to, you know, a safer neighborhood, a better area, and kind of just have, like, a better life, you know what I mean? And yeah, grew up there, man, Garden City, you know, fighting gophers, repping.
Yeah.
But I've been all over the city. I have family all over the city. I got friends, homies all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I'm tapped in with all the areas, you know, from the east, Transcona, all the way to the west, you know what I mean?
And I mean,
Westwood.
Winnipeg's pretty small too, so
Definitely. I think that's the cool thing about this city is that, like, you're friends of a friend with everyone.
or yeah, exactly. Like eventually down the line, somebody's gonna know somebody that you know.
Yeah.
No matter like where you go, who you meet, anything.
Yeah, which is cool,
Yeah.
but also kind of scary. Also, I'm Jamaican, and we have a big Jamaican community in here. And I remember, like, growing up, like, being, like, 18, like, first hitting the clubs and stuff, and always, like, if I was, like, meeting, like, a cute, like, black girl, especially if she was Jamaican, I'd always have to ask, yo, who is your uncle? What's your family name?
Yeah, what's your last name?
Bro, because you just don't know the community is so big, and like my family specifically is so big that it's like, oh man, I don't want to be like trying to hit up like my cousin's, you know, like niece or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Were there any instances where like you would meet somebody and then it turned out like you knew somebody they were related to or anything like that?
Oh, all the time, man, all the time, and I
Yeah.
can't even like think of any real off the top of my head, but once again, bro,
It's just
everybody
one of those things that happen.
everybody you meet in this city, it's like you know one of their friends if you didn't already know them, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. One cool thing actually though is you know, Nathan, who you obviously know.
Of course,
Shout out Nathan, you know what I mean? Big creator in the city.
Hell yeah.
Elevated experience, you know what I mean?
man.
Andre
Go
Jeanson, the
check
whole
them out.
squad.
Hell yeah.
Nathan's family is really tight with my family, and so we kind of knew each other growing up, but not really.
Yeah.
So we really started
Like at a super young age kind of
yeah,
thing.
bro, like from
okay.
toddler age for sure.
Yeah.
Like his mom is like the aunt of my dad's like really good homie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, so our families have known each other. Plus, like he's family with Keita, like Keita Lewis, and like the whole Lewis family is really tight with the Facey family. So, anyways, it goes back. But yeah, we used to we were in a band, me and Nathan.
Yeah.
And you know, subconsciously, like yeah, I knew our families kind of knew each other, but more or less it was like I knew him on a band aspect. And then at a certain point, I really realized, like, took it in, like, whoa, our families are close. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of interesting, like how it works like that.
Yeah, through the generations, like there's people that, you know, were super tightly knit at one point.
Definitely.
What kind of things were you like into growing up? Like, did you get into music super young? And like, were you really?
Oh, I mean, music has always been a part of my life because my dad's a DJ, right? So
Yeah.
I remember growing up, like family barbecues. My dad's out there with his turntables, spinning.
Okay. Like he was super into it. That was his thing.
Oh yeah, man. He used to have a show on CKUW. I believe every Saturday night, Dance Hall Fever show. And so I have like memories of being like, you know, 6-7 years old, helping my dad carry these crates. And when I say helping, he was doing all the work. I was just walking beside him.
Was he a big dance hall DJ?
Huge dance hall DJ.
Okay.
And so if you've ever been to the U of W, there's like that escalators, that set of like 3 escalators that goes all the way to the top. and at the very top is where they have their radio room.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. So I have like memories of just being super young, like going up those escalators, like going into that radio room with my pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's such a sick like memory to be able to have as a kid. Like something like musically involved.
Yeah.
And then being an artist, you know, you're just like, damn, as if I was doing that at such a young age, and look at what I'm doing now.
Yeah, man. It's funny, but it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But it's interesting because I never really saw myself doing music like full time or whatever at a young age.
Yeah, were you weren't into like that super young or?
No, I wasn't, and it's only recent. Well, let me put it like this: when I was younger, it wasn't my dream to be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
But
I was
something with music or
no, not even, bro.
Okay,
Like
okay.
I wanted to be out shredding like on the hills in Banff, like being like a snowboarder or something like that, or like
Oh,
playing
yeah.
ball, like being a hooper.
Were you like a
you
big
know?
like athletic guy before? Like you were super into sports and
Yeah, I was super
Okay.
into sports. I was never like the uber athlete, but like I've always been athletic my whole life, and
Yeah.
like I play sports. You know what I mean? Like I can
Okay,
pick up a
okay.
sport and just be nice with it, but.
Oh.
Yeah, I was never like killer at any sports, but more or less I thought that's where my life was going. And then yeah, just like a series of events, like I've had a kind of a interesting path to where I'm at now, actually.
Yeah. And what would you say took you to like the beginning of this path? Like what was it that made you want to start making music?
Yeah, what took me to the beginning of this path actually is when so I went to university and I thought I wanted to be like a pharmacist or something. This was after I gave up the snowboarding dreams.
Okay.
And I did like 2 years of university and realized really quick, like, bro, that ain't for me. Like,
Doing like the pharmacy thing? Okay,
exactly. I was
wow.
always nice with chemistry
Yeah.
and like I was all right at math and stuff, but just like I quickly realized like I wasn't in the place that I was supposed to be. So I kind of was like, hey, what am I going to do? So I ended up getting into firefighting. There's a firefighter college out in Brandon called Manitoba Emergency Services College.
Okay, yeah.
So I finished that program. And then I applied to the city of Winnipeg, and I like did the physical test. I did the written test, passed them all first time, had my interview. Everything was blessed.
Yeah.
And then at the very last step, there was like this hitch where one of my references had retired. So because my reference retired, they couldn't use her as a proper reference.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like it was my reference for the fire college.
Yeah.
Right. So she retired, so they couldn't have access to my documents. Blah blah blah. It's some weird thing. But anyways, they put me on a waiting list, so I didn't get in on the fire department right away. So now I was in this like limbo state where I'm like waiting to see if I get hired by the fire department, but I don't really know. And in that time, I got introduced to Chris. He was Poetic Justice at the time. Now he goes by Chris Sonet.
Okay.
And so-
I think I've like Poetic Justice sounds super familiar.
Yeah, we were in a group. So a mutual friend kind of connected us. He's like, yo, Chris raps. Like, Tyrus, you rap. You guys should link. So we linked up. And yeah, it just like clicked. Like we were freestyling in his bedroom and we had a little microphone. So we started recording. And it was just like, it was like magic. And I just like fell in love with that creative process of rapping. Like I used to rap in the cafeterias at high school and like fuck around and
Little
write rhymes.
freestyle things. Like,
Yeah, but I was never like, ooh, I want to be a rapper, you know? And a lot of it was because I was very like nervous or like shy to like put myself out there and be like, yo, I'm a rapper. But, you know, through working with Chris, I was like, yo, man, like I fell in love. We should start a group. So we started a group called Two Above.
Okay.
So yeah, Chris and I, boom, we started this group Two Above, and like we were really doing our thing, man. Like we ended up going to Atlanta, so that's when I said we went to Atlanta, or I saw Wu-Tang in Atlanta. It was
Okay.
with Two Above. We had done a set at Northern Touch Music Festival, and through there, I guess the organizer of A3C Music Festival in Atlanta had noticed us, and kind of was just like put together a little list of like artists who they wanted from Northern Touch to come and do a showcase in Atlanta at A3C.
Oh, that's sick.
So it was myself, it was Nyazwe was part of that little delegation of Canadians, Chris Bennett, and Shay Malcolmson was also there, and he was kind of like the godfather, like just like keeping us all together and like like guiding us more or less.
That's
yeah.
Music by Shay, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I
He
can't
has
remember.
that track with Post-War, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Because Shay
Man, big
organized.
shout out to him, yeah.
Yeah, big shout out Shay because he organized Northern Touch Music Festival.
Yeah.
And like he puts on for a lot of artists in the city and really like tries to support the youngins or the newer people coming up, which at the
Hey.
time that was me, you know what I mean? That was Chris, that was like all of us. So, yeah, big shout out Shay.
No,
But
that's dope.
yeah, so boom, so we were really doing our
So
thing.
what? You guys like all flew out there as a group, and
Yes.
like, oh damn,
Yeah.
you got to talk about that, man.
Yeah, oh man, it was super dope. So like I said, like at the Northern Touch Music Festival, the one of the organizers for A3C, which is a festival down in Atlanta.
Like he pulled up to Northern Touch.
That's right. He was speaking on the panels and all that kind of stuff, and kind of just keeping his eye out for artists who they wanted to invite over there to do a showcase.
Yeah.
So we happened to get on, and it was. So A3C is very similar to Northern Touch in that there's panels and like talks and interviews going on during the day, and then in the evening time, that's when they have like performances and shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So the headliners that year was Lil Wayne, it was Wu-Tang. Bro, by the way, I got a story about Lil Wayne. His show was ridiculous. So
Okay.
and then so amongst the headliners there was like little showcases. So we were on the Northern Bars showcase, I believe. So it was all of us. There was an Atlanta artist by the name of Jade Newton on the bill as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a chance to like go there.
Yeah, that would be quite the experience. Like, holy fuck.
So sick. And it was all covered by like grants and Factor and this and that. And, like we were invited, so that was all covered. So
Yeah, like I imagine the like the concert part of it was just like they gave that to you because you were artists performing, like involved with the whole event.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Which was dope. So yeah, man. So it was a cool trip. It was nice to like experience Atlanta. Like I'd never been before. And
Were
we
you guys
walking
like
around.
21 at the time?
Yeah, oh definitely. I was about
Okay.
the age of 21. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
going into clubs and shit. And,
Oh,
like,
dope.
You know,
dope.
we were
Yeah.
pretty broke, so it's not like we're out there like balling out like that. But
You're having fun.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
having fun, man. We were meeting locals. Like met a couple girls from like the university out there and stuff. And, like,
Okay.
yeah. Anyways, so but yeah, so we went to the Lil Wayne performance.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So he was headlining like the second night, I believe, and we get there and we're like, we got the blunts, so we're kind of smoking a little bit. The vibes are right. The crowd is huge. Like everything's nice. Lil Wayne gets into his third or fourth song, and then all of a sudden, and I'm there with Poetic Justice. Yazway was there, and someone else, but I can't remember the name. Anyways, so we're all kind of like in a crowd more or less together, and all of a sudden, I feel like this big like crowd kind of pushing on our back. And when you're at
Like on the floor, like okay.
and it was outside, by the way, too.
Yeah.
It was outside. It was like a huge like show.
Yeah.
So when you're like those big like concerts or like festivals, sometimes when shit starts getting hyped, people want to get closer to the stage. So that's what I thought was going on.
Yeah, they just started. Yeah.
There, but then all of a sudden it started feeling really aggressive, like really motherfuckers were pushing, and I'm like, what is going on? And I look behind me, and all of a sudden I hear, he's got a gun. And then the whole thing turned into chaos, bro. The music stopped. Like, there's, like, security guards that came and, like, took Lil Wayne off the stage, bro. And I'm looking, and the crowd is, like, starting to thin out behind me. And I see over, like I don't know, 20 feet, maybe 30 feet is, like, two guys. And I don't know if he had a gun or what, blah, 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 because I was really, like, just frightened for my life at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Adrenaline's going, like you're fucking
Exactly.
Yeah, you're hyped up at like holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. And people are screaming and blah blah blah. There was like to the right of us was like the main entrance and exit, and everybody was running for that. So I'm looking and I'm like, bro, there's no way. Like it looks so crowded, and this is all happening in a span of like 10 seconds. It's like one of those things like in a video game where like shit just slows down, and you're just like looking around trying to like figure out what to do. And I remember like as this like the crowd of people is moving and whatever, it's like a sea of people. I look at Chris like, and I'm like, yo, and I stick out my hand, and he looks at me. He's like, yo. And we like grabbed arms like this, and the freaking sea of people is going crazy, and we just pull each other, and we're like, yo, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So
like we need to stay together and get the hell out of here.
exactly, bro. And so over here was the main gates, way too full. Over here to the left was like a fence, and there's people. I saw people like running and hopping over the fence. So I'm just like, yo, Chris, we gotta run for this shit. He's like, bet. So, bro, I'm telling you, before then, I had never ran for my life. In this moment, I ran for my life, dog.
Couldn't even imagine.
Sprinting, bro. I must have been like Sonic. I was
Like
moving
jumping
so
over
quick,
shit,
jumping
like-
over people, bro.
Yeah.
Doing the most running. We got to the fence and we like at first we were about to hop over the fence, but we saw there was kind of like some like people having trouble getting over, and I had already done my firefighting training at the time, so I'm like, all right, start helping some people over, kind of da. As soon as it thinned out, then Chris and I jumped over the fence. And it was like, whoa, we lost Miazwe. We lost, oh man, I feel so bad because I can't remember Homeboy's name, but he's a producer for YSM Fab. He produces for Miazwe. Younger, he's probably like 2 or 3 years younger than us.
Like Pascal.
Pascal, yeah,
Okay,
man.
okay.
He was the other one there.
God
So
damn. Hey,
yeah.
shout out Pascal, man.
Yeah, sure. Yo, killer producer.
Yeah.
So anyways, Pascal was there too. So we lost Pascal, we lost Miazwe, and we were walking around. We ended up finding Miazwe in the crowd of people outside, just like ambulances and like police cars and shit. Like
Yeah, it's probably like a whole frenzy, like
frenzy,
yeah,
bro,
tripping.
frenzy. But we couldn't find Pascal. We're like, yo, like, we didn't know what happened. We don't know if anybody got shot at the time. We didn't know what was up, but we just knew we didn't have Pascal. So we actually like walked around and walked back into the festival grounds to look for him after the crowd of people cleared out. And bro, we walked back in there and it was like, did you ever see The Lion King, like the first movie?
Yeah.
And when they go to that land of the hyenas, the elephant graveyard, it's all like dark and kind of creepy, and there's like bones everywhere and stuff. Bro, I swear that's what it felt like, man. And we're watching
just the remains of like what was once life.
Yeah, dude, and it was just dead. Like shoes and drinks, and like the amount of shoes on the ground was ridiculous. Bro, like it would have been like a reseller's wet dream in there, man. Like Jordans on the ground, bro. Like
they're just in there with a garbage bag. Holy fuck.
But yeah, it turns out Pascal had just like dipped super quick, bro, and like he was already home by the time we were over there.
Okay.
Like back at our hotel.
And for those listening that are like, why don't you just call him? When you're at a festival, either A, there's no service because there's like hundreds and like so many people that the service just doesn't work. Because everybody's trying to use their phone. Facts. Or your phone's dead because you've been taking pictures and videos all day. Yeah. Like it's not one of those situations where you can just call your friend and say, where are you? Like,
and add on to the fact that we were in the States, so nobody had data.
Yeah,
nobody had
trying to run up a fucking
international. Yeah, exactly. So we were just like kicking it old school, like 90s style. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get on the pager, like get me on my pager.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, but like overall, man, Atlanta was such a fun time, and it was like a blessing to have that experience because I wouldn't have been there without music. You know what I mean? And if I
for
wasn't,
sure.
Like, you know.
And why don't you talk more about like your performance while you were there? What was that like?
The performance was really cool because we were performing for a completely different culture. You know what I mean? Like, although it's still a Western culture, it's like when you're in Atlanta, like they be doing it different down there. That's
they
the
have
South.
Their own culture.
Exactly, and their own sound. So it was very interesting and like not nerve-wracking, but like it felt like a challenge, right? Because we have to go there and show our style and impress these people who have never heard of us before, right?
Yeah.
Like definitely. Even when we perform in Winnipeg, it's like we already have a fan base. We have people like who are rocking with us. So it's, you know, you get on there and people love you already. But what happens when nobody knows your name? Yeah. I mean, what happens when people don't know your sound?
You got to do something.
Yeah, so that was cool, man, and the set went really well. It was like in this like little underground club. You know what I mean? People were fucking with us. We made some connections afterwards.
Nice.
So yeah, that went really well. And the only I remember the only thing was Shay after the show. He told us, he's like, man, you guys need to talk less, cause me, yeah, like he's joking around obviously, but me and Chris, like when we're on stage, especially back then and even now, we love to like talk about our music, engage with the crowd, like set up a song, like tell people why this next song we're performing is so dope or why we wrote it or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're all, I'm still like this too, like all about that crowd engagement. So,
and you're around new people, so you're just like, let me introduce myself. You know, it's one of those situations.
Totally. So
nice. That's dope. So this was relatively like early on in your musical career. And since that point, like what did that change in you where you're like, okay, like, and were you like, now I'm gonna take music more serious because I was just put on this big trip, and like, you know, or did you already kind of have that hunger before going on it and that just boosted it, that type of thing?
That trip definitely added to it. You know, but shortly after that trip, I actually got on with the Winnipeg Fire Department. So I got the job. I got the call, like, yo, you got the job. Excuse me. So, yeah, so I started firefighting. So I was doing this, like, firefighter by day, rapper by night kind of thing, balancing the two lifestyles.
That's kind of vigilante you could be.
Yeah, straight up. It was like firefighting Batman or rapping Batman or something. I don't know. But, yeah, so it came to a point though where those two aspects of my life were kind of like battling for attention or for like dominance, and I'd be at work like all day just thinking about my rhymes. Like I'd be thinking about shows or like whatever song I'm trying to record that night.
Yeah.
And it kind of got to a point where I realized, like, you know what, man, even though this is an amazing job, I'm not happy here. And I was young enough where, and I'm still young, I'm 26, I was like 24, 25 at the time. I'm young enough where like I can make this leap, I can take this risk,
Yeah.
and see where it goes. And it was a huge battle because, you know, like firefighting is a good job. You got the pension and you got the benefits and da-da-da-da-da.
And like you did the time like doing the course for it and everything.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. And my parents really wanted me to stay as a firefighter. Like they're like,
Okay.
because they just saw like how good of a job it was. So
yeah.
that was a big challenge, and that was something that like I really had to kind of wrestle with and overcome, this idea of like listening to what other people wanted versus listening to what my heart wanted. And I think nowadays, especially, like people our age wrestle with this because we have these passions, we know what we want from life, and we have so many other influences telling us what we should do or what we should think, what we should be. And sometimes we give in, and I think like that is a shame, like, for you to ever give in to someone else's opinion of like what your life should be. So
Definitely.
I kind of saw my journey as like I didn't have a role model who had done that. Like I didn't have anybody in my life really who had like put it all on the line for what they believe, like career wise, you know what I mean? Put it all on the line for like their passion, whether they wanted to be like a surfer or whether maybe they wanted to be like a lawyer and they were doing this and they just gave up and like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. Fuck. I didn't have nobody in my life who had done that.
Took that jump.
Yeah, so I had
okay.
I had to do it for myself. And I just hope like now my story can help inspire some other youths out there who are like want to follow their dreams. Maybe they want to be a hooper, but like they're really good at school and their parents are like, yo, just do the academic, the safe route or whatever, but they really want to play ball. It's like, I want that kid listening to be like, yo, go play ball, man. Follow your heart, and who knows where it'll end up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
who
definitely. Like,
but it'll end up, you at the end of the day, you decided that, and you'll be content knowing that you made those choices for yourself. Like, I truly believe that, like, no matter what, if you make those choices for yourself, you will have that inner peace, that inner happiness. And, like, that's what life's about, dude. Like, at the end of the day, it's just about being happy, however it looks, whatever form or shape that takes for you.
And whatever it takes for you to do that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. And for some people, like, firefighting is, like, what brings them that inner peace and that inner joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, more power to those guys, too.
Yeah, for real. Man, shout out all the firefighters.
Yeah, keeping us safe, bro. Keeping these houses not on fire.
you know what they do. But hopping back on like the music and stuff, like once you got back, where did your like musical career kind of go from there? Like, did you start working on some projects? Did you just start going crazy releasing singles, or what was the move?
Yeah, from there, I was looking to get in a studio, like have a studio space of my own.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding a place in 333 Gary, downtown. Excuse me, let me just...
Yeah, no worries.
I got a little bit of a sore throat here, so we're going to bust out that Robitussin. You know what I mean? A little bit of that non-prescription. Just got to... Oof. All right, there we go. Bless. Yeah, so from there, got into a studio space. It was like me, Flamenco Sketch, DJ Foreign were in there. We had all kinds of people running up in there. Eventually, Young Romello ended up taking over that space a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that studio at 333 Gary ended up being like our home base of like operations. You know what I mean? And we were throwing shows out of there. We were recording other artists out of there. Recording ourselves, of course, like releasing singles the whole time. Next door was Toxic Beats, who's like a lo-fi producer, like killer lo-fi producer.
Nice.
So we collaborated with him. I even have an EP.
I was gonna ask, were there ever like cross the hall collaborations?
Definitely. I have a whole EP that dropped with Toxic. Flamenco Sketch has a whole EP that dropped with Toxic.
Okay.
You can find it on Spotify, under both of our respective profiles. But
of course.
But yeah, like that was like the incubator for me deciding like, okay, this lifestyle is what I want. Like, this is what I'm passionate about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I never had that studio space, I don't know if I ever would have taken the leap to like, you know, move out to Montreal and like follow my dreams. So
Did you find that having a place that you had to pay rent for and you had the energy and like just having that environment really drove you to like work harder and work more and stuff like that? Or
definitely the environment made it easier to work more and work harder, and like everything was more accessible. Like I had a recording studio anytime I wanted. Like I had like producers around me at all times. Like I had other rappers to like go back and forth with at all times. A
Yeah.
space to shoot videos on the roof, like you know,
that's
like that for sure facilitated and made things easier. Is like I put myself in that place to
You-
make it easy.
You and Flamenco have a video on that roof.
We do.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
I remember running that one back not even that long ago too.
That's still a jammer, man.
Yeah.
That's still a jammer. We have a show tomorrow.
Nothing
and
but boars.
big boars. But yeah, one thing though is like I think there's this kind of like false like idea that if you put pressure on yourself to do things, then like you'll get it done. Like lots of like rappers think like, yo, if I just quit my job, then I'll be extra hungry and like I'll have nothing but to just kill it on the music game because like I have no money and like it'll make me super hungry. I think that's like a false narrative. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
I'm into crypto a little bit, and like some people like trade crypto and they get this idea where if they quit their job to trade crypto, it'll make them hungrier and better traders because like they have no other option. Like that ain't the truth, bro. If you got a job, like
That's
keep
FUD.
that's FUD, bro.
Yeah.
That's bro. Keep your job and grind on the side until it makes sense to make that transition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Friggin' who tweeted the other day? Gunna tweeted the other day. I think it was Gunna. He's like, bro, if you have a job, like you're getting money at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's like that's keeping it P. Like at the end of the day. Yeah, man. So that's what it is, bro. Like keep grinding on your job until it makes sense to make that transition. You know, it'll never 100% make sense, but still, at the very least, like don't quit when it makes 0 sense either. You know what I mean? You gotta find that balance.
Yeah, definitely like build yourself up a little bit. You know.
Yeah, and like have a reason to leave. Like you know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
have a reason to leave your job or have a reason to leave whatever your current situation is.
You better have like so many local shows booked up
Yeah.
and people booked at your studio, and like you know you got to really
Totally.
be in it
Yeah.
to be able to be in it.
Exactly. Don't just quit and hope the reason will fall into your lap.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's like that's a piece of advice I think I could give to anybody.
Definitely.
But,
I was gonna ask about like writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so you definitely have a big discography already. When it comes to writing, like nowadays, do you find like anything's changed from how you were back then with your methods and stuff like that compared to now, or is it always just kind of been like?
Oh, yeah, I've been evolving. Like the process stays evolving even to this day.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed before, especially when I first started rapping, I was so obsessed with like, yo, I gotta keep it real and I gotta like only speak on what I've done or what I know or whatever, because I didn't want anybody to think I was like a phony or whatever, you know. It was this like obsession almost. And as I mature as an artist, as I look around, bro, and like just think and develop my style, I see you don't have to only speak from the first person. You don't have to only speak from your perspectives. Like take something you see in the world and speak on that, or like be a character, like play a character, like see it from the eyes of like a child soldier in wherever in the desert or whatever it is. Or like I have a song called Treat You Right, and it's like a lot of that is just speaking from the experiences of women in my life who I've seen or I've heard stories of or I've spoken with, and like some of their hardships, like whether it's abuse or whether it's like, you know, the like having children and that whole aspect, your partners, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like talking on my perspective of that or how I see what they're going through. And yeah, so even though I didn't necessarily go through those traumas, like I felt it was important at least for me to speak on it. And I think like the prime example of that is an artist like J. Cole. You know what I mean?
100%.
Cole is out here speaking for everybody.
Yeah.
Bro, like he's giving a voice to the
He's
voiceless.
giving a platform to so many different, like, so many people.
people and issues, and just
Yeah.
so it's like so that's been a big thing of mine that has evolved, is like just getting outside my box.
Yeah. How do you go about choosing a topic for something like that? Like, would you, like, you hear a beat and then you're just kind of like, oh, this would sound good for something like this, or is it just like something that like weighs on you for a bit, or like something that's going on that's current, or how do you like go about choosing?
Yeah, I mean, there's never like one set way. Sometimes I have an idea, or like there's something that happened in the news, or like when the whole pandemic thing was going on, I'm really watching like how these politicians are moving. Like that really like upset me, like because they were being really snaky about a lot of stuff they were doing. So it's like that was in the back of my mind, and I'd be thinking about it during the day, and then I'd sit down in front of a beat, and it's like, okay, I gotta let that out now.
Okay, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or other times it's like the beat might just play, and it's like it's a sad sounding thing, and it brings out something in me that I need to talk about, a sad concept. And I wasn't even sad prior to hearing it, you know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah.
you just hear that beat, and it just comes to you. So it's the creation process has to be fluid. It's never the same. So
Interesting. And how do you go about like choosing your beats nowadays?
nowadays, man, this is another thing. I used to never get beats off of YouTube. I was always like, bro, like I'm not using some beat somebody else has made, blah blah blah. Bro, I don't care now. Like if I'm in the mood to go find like house style beats, I'll go onto YouTube and I'll be like, yo, house type beats, and I'll
Yeah.
just be rapping over that.
Just whatever you're feeling like in the moment.
Exactly. Or maybe like a producer will hit me up on Instagram. He's like, bro, I like your style, man. Like let's collaborate. Like send me some beats. So there, once again, there isn't like one rhyme or reason. It's just, okay, what am I in the mood for, and then how can I get my hands on that?
Yeah, or like how it comes about naturally or something like that. Like if somebody hits you up and sends you something or whatever. Okay.
Exactly. So I'm not putting myself in a box as much on how things happen. Like that's something that I learned going out to school, like in Montreal at Recording Arts Canada. It's like meeting so many different artists, so many different creators out there, is like it really opened up my eyes to the different ways that music can happen, and that it doesn't have to happen one way.
Yeah.
And like if you're putting yourself in that box, I think you're doing yourself a disservice to ever tell yourself like, yo, I have to do it like this. You know what I mean?
And I guess also being surrounded by like people doing so many different things,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you feel more creative. Like you're wanting to try what they're doing. Kind
Yeah.
of thing too.
Totally. I was in there. I was taking classes with like metalheads, with like Latino guys making like Doomba type stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, all kinds of different styles, man. And when I was here in Winnipeg, it was mostly just hip hop, rap. Like that's the scene that I was in.
Yeah, you're kind of like like not speaking about you, but just speaking in terms of most people. Like it's isolating.
Yes.
When you're into a genre, like you're just kind of put in that category and you stick with those guys.
Exactly. Which is like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's easy to kind of get in this like echo chamber of like only one sound, or like like this is how I do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool to go out there to Montreal and like expand my horizons for lack of a better term.
No, that's dope. When it comes to recording nowadays, where are you like recording at, and how are you going about that?
Yeah, so I'm still doing a lot of recording out of my house. Like my creative process now kind of works is like I'll have a beat, I'll start writing, and then I will lay down the vocals. So right then and there, like I got my microphone like in my studio at my place, and I'll just record it right there, get a rough take. Sometimes that rough take ends up being what I release.
Yeah, if you love it, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes
Yeah.
you just have an emotion that like you can't like recreate,
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's like it'll just be a rough take, and then I'll go to my school and use their studio, use their equipment to record there.
Okay, that's so sick.
Which is so sick. Yeah, like
Having that availability at your fingertips.
totally. And like being an alumni, like I don't go to school there anymore. I'm not a student, but I still have access to those
Nice, that's awesome,
facilities.
yeah.
So yeah, it'll look like that, or maybe like other cats have studios, so I'll go to like the next man's studio and just record there. But yeah,
Yeah, if somebody hits you up for like a studio session,
yeah,
you're
let's
not
go.
turning them down.
No, let's get it.
No, that's hype.
You know what I mean? And in fact, I feel like I'm more, maybe more productive when I'm in a studio, because I kind of know like, okay, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so if I have an idea now, like I gotta do this idea now,
Yeah.
kind of thing, which is good for the creative process, because like I don't know about other artists, but I feel like for me in particular, sometimes I get lazy where like I have an idea, but then I don't see it through. It's like I'll be making a beat and I'll make a dope ass chorus, and then it's like time to make the verse, and I'm like,
You're like,
let me just do
wait.
something new,
Yeah,
bro. I don't know.
yeah.
You know, and it's like I don't see it through, and that could have been like a dope ass beat or a dope ass song, but it's like you don't see it through. But when you're in the stew, especially with other artists or whatever, it's like you kind of have to see it through because like you're not gonna be back there, you know.
Do you find it like better or worse having like more or less people in the studio?
Less.
Yeah.
The less the better, in my opinion. Like
Okay.
when I'm in the stew, I want just creators. If you are there helping that creative process or like contributing, you're more than welcome. But sometimes it's like motherfuckers in the studio who just like to be in a studio because it's cool.
Chilling.
They're and if you go chill, like chill, like that's cool too. But it's when they're over here on their phones taking videos and like, oh yeah, they're not rapping, they're not producing, they're literally just there to flex.
They're like getting in the way almost.
Yeah, they're killing the vibe. Like those people, get out, man. I don't need those people in the studio. But like,
No, I feel that.
but I mean, sometimes yeah, you have just people like a homie who's just kind of in the back and he's just like observing.
Yeah, like if it's a homie that's just chilling,
Yeah,
that's bad.
yeah, no, that's all good. But definitely like the less the better in my opinion.
Do you have, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think some artists thrive on the opposite though. Like when you're recording, and a lot of people don't know this, but when you're recording, it's almost like you're performing, right? You're performing for that microphone as if you're in front of a crowd of 1,000 people, so that you can have that proper energy. You know what I mean? So for some people,
And stuff.
yeah, exactly. So for some people, when they have a big group, it's like they're more on because they want to perform better for this. Like, oh, all these people in here, they're gonna be looking at me, so let me just, you know.
Yeah.
So for some people, they like that, but for me, man, like I'm very particular about the vibe. Like the vibe is everything in a studio for me, man. You gotta nurture it like a baby. You know what I mean? And take care of that vibe and let it grow into like something strong and powerful. So
Yeah.
if people are over there just fucking it up, I'm like, nah, get out of here, man.
I mean, I also feel like depending on the track type too, like what you guys are working on.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to work on some like serious shit and somebody's just like goofing around,
Yeah.
it could like potentially fuck up the whole session.
Definitely. But actually, it's funny you say that because did you watch the Dreamville documentary they did when they made Revenge of the Dreamers 3? So they rented out this studio. I think it was in Atlanta somewhere. They pretty much rented out this like complex of studios, and J. Cole and the Dreamville team invited a bunch of artists, like people we've never heard of, but then also like Childish Major and like Reason from TDE was there, and like Buddy was there, like just a whole bunch of artists who they fucked with, and they just spent a week developing this tape. So any like they all made a bunch of songs, and they chose the best ones and then turned it into Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
Okay.
And so I highly recommend to watch that documentary.
No, that sounds.
It's like 30 minutes.
That's up my alley. So.
Oh, you'd love it because you see like some of the rooms they'd walk in and it'd be like a couple people. It's like a chill vibe. Like the lights are all low and they're just like they're vibing, just recording or working, whatever. You go into other rooms and it's like all the lights are on. There's like 30 people packed in a room this size, like just vibing, like getting hype.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that was contributing to that vibe, whatever song they were making there.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the vibe of the track.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? That's a good point actually. That you know maybe sometimes the more the merrier for recording session.
What was the recording situation like for TIMBS? I gotta ask.
Yeah, Tim's was just me and Flamenco Sketch, man.
Okay.
That is it. We had written the bars and everything. No, that even happened after. Okay, so Tim's was just me and Sketch in the stew. And he's like, yo, Louie, like I got this beat. I think you're gonna like it, bro. Let's do something with it. So we're sitting on the couch. He puts on the beat, and it's like, well, you know it's that classic Tim sound, like da-na-na. And I'm just like, yo. And I look at him, and he looks at me. He's like, word. And then out of nowhere, bro, I'm just like, I need Tim's. And he's like, and I'm like, and nice clothing. I need you in the early morning And he's like, bro, record that right now. Like, record
It
that
just
right
fell
now.
into place.
Yeah. So he jumps in the pilot seat. Puts on the track, hits record, arms it. And if you actually listen to Tim's in the intro, you can hear like a door opening and then closing. And I'm like, yo, get my levels right. Whatever. It don't matter. Because that's literally the first take that I was walking into the booth to record. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, that chorus was a first take, like one take Jake.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was such a special moment, man. And I think, yeah, if there was other people in there, like, who knows? Like, maybe they would have had something to say and it would have made me get to, but it was just like me and him locked in.
Nah, I feel like it was right.
Just
like
doing
the
it.
song turned out
Perfectly.
So,
yeah, perfectly. So yeah, that's one of those examples. I love telling that story because it's just like so
crazy.
organic, bro. So, and it's like documented. You can go and listen to that song and hear that moment.
Yeah,
like that legit moment in time is forever captured. Yeah, it's forever captured in that song. Like,
that's crazy.
Music is crazy, bro.
So you've released many things in the past, but what can we expect coming up in the future from you? What do you have planned?
Yeah. So right now, I've planned, there's always singles. Like, there's always new music that I'm dropping at least once a month, every couple months, just to, like, show people what I've been doing, what I'm up on, and just, like, release some of the dope stuff I've been working on. Mm-hmm. So definitely keep a lookout for that. But I've been diving into the NFT game a little bit, too, and this has been very interesting for me. So, in the side...
ready.
Yeah, for real. Welcome to the future. No, but for real, like, I've been producing house music on the side, just kind of like for fun. Like, like I said, I'm DJing tomorrow night. I have just like a little set. It'll be my first DJ set ever. And when I went out into Montreal, I really fell in love with house music, like diving into K-Tronada, and then from there, just like getting into like the UK house. Like,
well, the EDM scene's like super big out there.
Very big, yeah, very, very, very big. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, so I've kind of been producing like that kind of style beats on the side, and I'm like, well, I don't want to release it under Sir Louie. Like, it's not really in line with my hip hop sound. Like, it's completely left flip.
You don't necessarily want to right away start shoving it in your hip hop fans and hip hop fan base.
Exactly. At least like my core fan base.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna keep it consistent with what I've been doing. But then I'm gonna release these house tracks as NFTs. So it's going to be accompanied with art, whether it's a moving art or maybe it's just like one digital picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so for anybody who wants to go above and beyond and dive deeper into like, what Louie does and what I'm all about, then they can purchase these NFTs, and they're going to be like dirt cheap, like, $25. You can have this exclusive song that I've never released, probably never will be released, and this exclusive art. Because I think one thing, like, a lot of people say, like, bro, an NFT is just like a JPEG or whatever, and it's like, so I want to include something more with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get this song that's unreleased, and you can choose if you want to spread it out to the rest of the world and put it on the internet, or you can just say, okay, this is only for my library. I'm gonna just play this on like my playlist when I'm working out or like when I'm vibing like in the car or whatever. This is just for me. Yeah, exactly.
I remember seeing, I don't know if it was like the Death Row or the Snoop Dogg account on OpenSea releasing music.
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
They were doing something with music, I saw. So I definitely I like the idea of that.
Yeah, me too. I did hear that Snoop bought Death Row and then he took all their music off of streaming platforms or something like that, or he was planning to. So that might be part of that release strategy for them, is to start putting it out in an NFT fashion.
Okay.
But yeah, like the thing about Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, even like Tidal, they pay shit. Like, us as artists, we get gypped by them. They're making millions of dollars off of us, and they pay us very little.
Pennies.
Yeah, fractions of pennies.
Yeah, fractions.
You know what I mean? So when it gets to the NFT game, it kind of places a little bit more control back in the artist's hands and allows us to monetize our music in a meaningful way. And I think that's very cool. And then in return, as somebody who wants to support, your given artist, you get something unique from them that nobody else has.
Way more personal.
And that, how artists choose to run with this is going to be very interesting to see, because it doesn't have to just be a picture. It doesn't have to just be a song. It could be like the lyrics to something. It could be like a code to like get the physical like notebook that rapper was writing in all month shipped out to you, so now you have that physical notebook, or whatever it is. Like there's so many options that can go along with it, and then you as a consumer can feel good because you're like, yo, I know my money is going right to the people that I want to support, instead of like, oh yeah, I'm paying the Spotify membership every month and like I really love this artist, but these fucking rich guys over in like Sweden or whatever are getting all my money, you know? So
damn, no, that's crazy. So
yeah,
that's what you're planning on like releasing eventually.
yeah, like this year, like
Okay.
yeah, like during the summertime, like look out for that. Look out for Louie NFTs. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's high.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye out for that. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, please do. And like, yeah, it's like becoming very accessible to us as artists. Like Loki actually already released an NFT a little while ago.
Okay.
But it was more just testing like the waters, you know?
Yeah.
And this guy from like Vietnam like found it and bought it, and then he reached out to me on Instagram. He's like, "Yo, I bought your NFT, I think. Are you Sir Louis?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's
So,
sick.
yeah, it's super sick, bro. Because now it's
Okay.
like a completely different market that like I've never even thought of. Like now I'm connecting with guys over in Vietnam. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know what I
Like
mean?
that's a great way for a marketing strategy, just to get your music out there to like to people. Like,
Yeah.
directly to people.
Yes. So
No, that's awesome.
yeah, I think it's gonna take a while for NFTs to really take off, especially in the music scene, just because it is still pretty niche. Like the average person doesn't know how to go like buy an NFT, whereas the average person knows how to use Spotify or YouTube. You know,
Yeah.
so
There has to be a very user friendly
yes,
like operation to come out with that.
yeah,
people
exactly.
uses.
So they're working on that, and you know, there's some people who have kind of tried it already, and it's not really that good. I've downloaded some apps that like say they let you make NFTs and stuff, and
Okay.
it's really kind of like not true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't get into the technicalities of it, but like there's a lot of people saying they're selling NFTs and making NFTs, and they're just not. So it's gonna take a while before like that trust can be built, and like you said, the right platforms can be out there to like do it easily and accessibly.
Yeah, seamless.
Seamlessly.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the word right there.
In terms of like collaborations coming up,
Yeah.
do you have anything scheduled, planned?
I have no scheduled collaborations right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always making music with cats, and like after coming to Winnipeg here, like I've tapped in with a few artists already.
Okay.
So yeah, so like you know,
But
we
nothing
get in the
planned
studio.
to drop soon.
That's right. We get in the
Yeah.
studio and we're just messing around making tracks, but who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows where it goes?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's been. I've released a lot of collaborative tracks, you know, in my discography. So
yeah, for sure.
you know, it's time now. I feel that like I need to just do my own thing more or less, and just like
kind of thing.
yeah, exactly, get the solo work out there. Yeah.
No, that's hype. In terms of like people in the city, who have you been like rocking with lately?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. I mean, who have I been rocking with lately? It's been guys like Nathan. You know what I mean? I'm always rocking with Nathan. Guys like Young Romello. He's actually performing tomorrow at the show, so I've really been rocking with him. You know what I mean? Flamenco Sketch. Always rocking with Flamenco Sketch, and like the guys like Dave Mack and Travis T. Although like I don't talk to them on a daily. Like I'm gonna be tapping in at Travis's studio this weekend. So
Okay.
yeah, checking in on those guys. But you know what? There's some people in the city who I haven't actually tapped in with yet that I would really love to. Like that Sandman.
Okay.
Like I've never, like we've kind of just briefly spoke on Instagram and just like touch base like that, but I've never actually been in a studio with him. I've never actually
Something
worked
needs
with
to
him.
be secured.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to work with him. Like that's definitely an artist who I see is doing something very unique, but he's talented. You know what I mean? So
I feel like that would be a very interesting collaboration.
yeah, I think it would be cool, man. We could make some summer vibes. Like I feel like
Hell
him and I
yeah.
would just make a summer anthem like just on the spot.
Definitely.
But yeah.
That's pretty much it
No,
for right now.
I mean, there's
Just off the top.
yeah, just off the top,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like, also the guys over at New Bounce are doing a lot of cool stuff too, like Ray Abstract.
I remember seeing them on Instagram recently. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like kind of like a R&B kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like then they're just doing nights like DJ nights and stuff like that. So I was
Okay.
at one of their things on Friday, and it was super cool. Nice vibe. Great music selection,
Okay.
I should say.
Hype,
So
hype.
yeah, that's been dope. I mean, I could go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
talent
it's
in the
hard
city.
to narrow it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that hard. Like, we were at Soul Supreme the other night. You know what I mean? Keisha Booker's over there, really killing it. You know what I mean? Her band that she got
Okay.
going on is soulful as hell, and she's always been talented. And we were kind of chopping it up a little bit, and she was just saying how like Soul Supreme as a night started in, like, I think she said 2014, and they've
Man, I remember going to it like back in the day at the underground or whatever.
ooh, damn. Yeah, so there you go. Actually, yeah, true say, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's cool talking with her because she was just saying like the evolution, because now it's over at 111 Princess and it's popping. It's huge.
Yeah,
The bottles popping, motherfuckers drinking wine after wine. Like, yeah,
okay,
the crowd
okay.
is huge. Everyone's into it. The DJs are killing it. It was like DJ Zuki was up there. DJ Tane was up there. Like, yeah, man, it's like that progression has been super cool to see, and like I'm so like happy for her, like that she could help to orchestrate that and like stuck through it, and now it's like the fruits of that labor are like shining through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's at a hot new venue,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah. So hopefully they're there for a while. She said they've been to like a bunch of different venues. So hopefully they can kind of stick there.
secure it.
Yeah, I mean, with COVID, you know, obviously everything got put on hold. But now that things are opening back up, maybe it's like these venues will be looking for a little bit more security, and they'll kind of like let people have that reoccurring thing, you know, when they can prove that they can bring out those crowds.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of security, it's tradition around here. You want to lock it down with a freestyle for the show?
bro, come on now. You ain't even got to ask.
Yeah?
Let's get it.
All right. We'll be right back with a Sir Louie freestyle.
Check.
All right. We're back. WPG Clark Podcast. This is a freestyle with your boy,
Hey.
Sir Louie.
You know what I mean?
Let's get it.
Sir Louie, a.k.a. Ronzel Picasso. You know what I mean? The Great Dane. WPG Clark Podcast.
Got the experience
Look.
right here.
What's free? Well, really, that depends. Really free for me's just chilling with my friends. Tell me, are you really free riding in that Benz? Flexing for the gram, but can't afford to pay the rent. What's free? Do anything you want in the metaverse, but outside, I swear it's only getting worse. Police and protesters making progress. I thought you said you pro peace. Why you so stressed? What's free? Progress ain't. It's gonna take a lot of love and a little pain. These politicians go missing when the pressure's on. Huh, don't you think that's a little strange? Yo, I'm going off the dome, no pain. I'm not afraid, you know I gotta go insane. On these beats, it's where I really eat. I be chilling with my man Krusty, he got orange feet, what's up? Yo, he well in that Balenciaga, toque on his feet. I'm feeling like Siaga, back when he was politicking and doing his thing. Man, I don't know what to say, but I'm off the brain. Look, I'm blocking back in. I gotta spend all this time with my family and friends, because in the end, you don't know what's finna happen. You might be in the grave, straight napping. Yo, they say sleep is the cousin of death. Well, guess what, man? Yo, you got a stinky ass breath, And anyways, that's just really how I be. Flowing off the top, it's Louie. Yo, check it. Sir Louie in this motherfucking bitch. I don't really like to hang with a snitch. I'm out here chasing all these riches. Know what I'm saying? I'm digging ditches for all my enemies. But though they friend of me, if you a friend of me, we chillin', man. Get it right. Hey, yo, Donnie, do you got another beat? If you do, then let's play that shit right now if it's cool. Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't even heard it yet.
We ain't even heard it yet. This is all live. Yo, check it. We in this motherfucking bitch. Yo, we in this motherfucking bitch. Hey, man, we just trying to get rich. Yo, said I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to be. I just want to have all my family riding next to me. Feeling so free. In the condo, I'm like Sophie. Shout out Sophie. That's my girl's cousin taking care of our cats. Shout out Reggie, man, you know what's that. And my little man Jacko, he like to run, he's an asshole. But anyways, I'm just fucking around, this what I do. My name's Sir Lou, and I keep it extra cool. Yeah, I dropped out of my school. Had to pursue my dreams, man, what about you? Are you gonna do what you wanna do? Or you gonna listen to everybody else trying to give you that stress, trying to tell you what to do next? Or you gonna be your man, be a man, be yourself, be yourself now, be free, be yourself now, take care of your health now, take care of your health now. Yo, it's what it's about, man. We fucking around. WPG Clark podcast in this bitch. Sir Louie,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
holding it down.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
95 till infinity.
Hey. All right, guys, you heard it here. Exclusive freestyle, Sir Louie, the 3RD. You got anybody you want to show some love to, give shout outs, you know, pay respects, anything?
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Len Bowen, one of the OGs in the city, you know what I mean? Always showed me the ropes when I was younger, gave me some great advice. You know what I mean? I gotta give a shout out to Flamenco Sketch, Young Romello, you know what I mean? Khalil, some of the guys that have been taking care of me. Salty Flamingo's crew, you know what I mean? That's my crew, my high school crew. Been together since day one. They've always been showing me love. And last but not least, you know, shout out my grandma, you know what I mean? Love you, Granny.
Hey. And for those who don't know and need to find out, where can they find you, man? Plug yourself in.
You can find me on all major streaming platforms under Sir Louie. That's Sir Louie, as well as on Instagram under Sir Louie the Third. So Sir Louie the 3RD. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, everything, man. I'm out there. Sir Louie. Let's get it.
Hey, go find this man. Thanks again for pulling up. It's been another great episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Man, just let us know what you think.
Show some love.
Hey, another great episode. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in.
Power and love to you all. Skrrr.